Mr. Whitehead, would you please give me your full name and DOC number?
Alan Christian Whitehead, 724-514.
Mr. Whitehead, this is a parole revocation hearing today. I want to explain our process to you. First, I'm going to cover with you your parole revocation questionnaire. Then I'm going to advise you of what the allegations are that you have violated your probation. I'm going to ask you to plead either guilty or not guilty to those. Then we'll have a hearing. You'll have an opportunity to vote. You'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say before the panel votes. Do you understand our procedure?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Whitehead, would you take a look at that questionnaire? Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature at the bottom of the page?
Yes, sir.
And all of those answers, were they all answered correctly on October the 5th of 2023?
Yes, sir.
Are they all accurate today?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to proceed with our hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to read the allegations. The first allegation is violation of rule number 2. You failed to report to your parole officer as directed. An appointment later was mailed for an office visit on September the 1st of 2023 at 8 a.m. in which you failed to report. How do you plead to that?
I plead guilty, but I plead guilty, but like.
All right, let me explain something, Mr. Whitehead. The pleas are guilty with a statement, not guilty, or not guilty with a statement. So you wish to plead guilty and make a statement at some point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next allegation is number 3. You failed to provide your parole agent with any and all updated contact information. Therefore, your whereabouts were unknown until your arrest in Mississippi. You were never given written permission to leave the state under any circumstances. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
You engaged in criminal activity as evidenced by your arrest on or about September the 5th of 2023 by the Biloxi Police Department for domestic abuse battery. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty.
Okay. It's my understanding at your hearing, you pled guilty to the fact that you were in fact arrested, but you plead not guilty to the fact that you were guilty of domestic abuse battery. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You have been unemployed and employable, but failed to work to seek employment for over 180 days. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
Your parole officer asked for an updated address and phone number. Then you failed to promptly answer questions by hanging up and ending the call. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. You failed to pay your monthly supervision fees and are currently in arrears of $908. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Why don't you go ahead and give me your statement about any of the allegations you wish. Let's first of all talk about your failing to report. You said you plead guilty with a statement. What's your statement?
All right. So when I first started reporting, I was going to the office every month, and the parole officer was like, "You don't have to come up here. We could set a appointment or do a Zoom." So from that day forward, I talked to the PO every single month except for September. You know, it was never no contact. Like as far as me coming to the building, I stopped coming because they switched my parole officer 3 times.
How'd you end up in Mississippi?
I ended up in Mississippi, going back and forth, dealing with my children, like CPS. I got documentation of it, like DHS was coming trying to take my son, my mama old.
Did you notify your parole officer that you were going to Mississippi?
No, ma'am, no, sir, because like at the same time, I'm not making no excuses, nothing. I'm taking full responsibility. Like I didn't have an address anymore because me and my brother, we got kicked out the house from his old lady with gambling. She ain't like how we were gambling and doing things like that. So I didn't have an address. So I was really trying to weed my way out because I know one thing, if you don't have an address, you'll come back.
Why didn't you contact your parole officer and let them know what you were doing?
Really scared, not knowing how anything works, sir, to be honest.
All right, well, tell me about your arrest on September the 5th of 2023. What happened then?
Okay, I got pulled over or whatever, and I was dealing with a female or whatever. She was staying with us over here in Slidell. And then when everything got rocky with us, she even told me, like, if you're not gonna be with me, I'm gonna make sure you die or go to jail. You know, so it was all type of things. I had let them know that she was threatening me and all type of things like that, you know. So that was that's really all the way not true at all. That's just like a woman just being spiteful. That's not.
So this is your ex-girlfriend who had a tear on her collar and bruises on the left side of her face. She was running towards a witness screaming for help. The victim stated her ex-boyfriend, Alan Whitehead, kicked in her back door. She ran and he caught her by the collar and dragged her into the vehicle. The defendant began to drive away and she was able to get out of the vehicle and ran where she called for help. Do you deny all of that?
Not true at all. Nobody's saying that. She's saying that, man, sir. That's not true at all. That's not
But
true at all.
you were in Mississippi when you were not supposed to be there. You pled guilty to simple battery. Why?
No, I didn't. I never been to court on that. I never pled guilty to that.
Okay.
And then when I got pulled over, that was my first time having knowledge of it. I never had a warrant for it or nothing. That was my first time having knowledge of it, September the 5th. I don't know when she pressed the charges or whatever, but that was my first time having knowledge of it. I never been no.
Had you been in contact with your parole officer, you would have known all about these things, and you probably might not be sitting there today if what you're saying is true.
Yes, sir.
So what do you have to say about that?
Like I would talk to my parole officer every single month except for September. That's the only time I haven't talked to my PO officer. I talk to her every single month.
Were you working?
Sir?
Were you working?
I was doing labor ready, and then I was working with DR London.
Okay. You were saying you talk to your PO every month, so you didn't tell her your serious life situation when you talked to her. You didn't say, we got put out of our house, I'm looking for a place to stay. You didn't talk to her about that. You just didn't talk. So what did y'all talk about? You talked to her every single month.
She told me, she was telling me like the last time I talked to her, I did tell her that I was staying with another friend or whatever, and she was like, "What's the?"
But again, going back. The purpose of contacting your PO every month is keep your PO abreast as to your life situations. The day you got put out, that's when you should have told the PO, "I got put out. I don't know where I'm living right now, but my phone is still working. I'll stay in contact with you while I figure it out." Your PO was informed.
Yes,
the
ma'am.
PO was informed that my children in Mississippi going to CPS, I'm worried, what can I do?
Yes,
and you and your PO can figure out what to do.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what your PO is for, to discuss your life situations. That's the point of maintaining contact with your PO.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
hide the information that the PO needs in order to help you. Stay out of jail.
Yes, ma'am. And then
Please see that. If you don't see nothing else, please see that.
you're right, ma'am. And at the end of the day,
There's no address the PO can write down. He doesn't have an address right now. That's it. But you stay in contact.
yes, ma'am.
That's all you can do. Well, I mean, and then there are some resources to help you get an appointment. I don't know if you qualify for that program. We didn't get a chance to assess you for that program because you didn't ask.
Yes,
We don't
ma'am.
know if you qualify for a transfer to Mississippi. We don't know because you didn't ask.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you need to know.
And yes, ma'am.
And that's all I just wonder what y'all talked about. You talk to them every month. That's all I had, Chairman.
Thank you.
And then it's like I wasn't doing anything of this, like to be mischievous or whatever. It just,
But you never, but you didn't inform your officer. There were no new arrest, but there was a new arrest. There was a new arrest. So what's the court date on that domestic battery charge? Do you know?
it's the 26th.
26th of October?
Yes, ma'am.
Where? What court is that?
In Mississippi.
So she went, although y'all had broke up, what's she doing in Mississippi with y'all? She had put y'all out.
Ma'am?
Was she the girl y'all was living with that put y'all out because of the gambling?
We were staying with my brother girlfriend.
Oh, so your girlfriend went with you to Mississippi.
No, she was staying in Mississippi, but the only reason she was coming over there staying with us here and there was because of me. She also had a house in Mississippi the whole time.
Oh, okay. So you could have stayed with her.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
You could have got transferred, or you could have stayed with your mother in Mississippi. Your mother got a house, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
I was just trying to get some clarity. That's all I had, Chairman.
Thank you. Any questions? Anything you'd like to say, Mr. Whitehead, before we vote?
I would like to understand. I'll let you know. I said everything to the full extent or whatever, and nothing I was doing. Like I wasn't trying to be mischievous. Really, just scared because I got all this time over my head. It's like all I know if I really have a chance, I promise I could show y'all I could be a law-abiding citizen, whatever, you know. I promise I can, and I really do need a chance. Like I really need to be in my son's life. I really do. Like if I was to go to jail right now, I have to do another 5 years. He'll be a young man, you know, and it's really taking a lot of toll on me. That's what I want to do, to be there for my son. Like I know I messed up to a point where it's ridiculous. I belittle myself out there and everything, but like if I was to have a chance, I got a support system and people that's standing behind me, you know, I'll be successful to be the parolee I need to be, you know.
Thank you. Okay, we're ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Whitehead, you know, I've read the police report. There was an independent witness that saw what happened, saw her running, saw you chasing her. You pled guilty to all of these charges at your preliminary examination, but today you wanted to plead guilty, not guilty to several of them. I find that you have violated all of the conditions as outlined here, and it's my vote to revoke you. Mr. Roche?
Mr. Whitehead, you left the state of Louisiana without an approved ICOT or a travel permit. Therefore, I find you guilty of violating conditions number 3, 6, and 10 of your supervision contract. Therefore, I'm revoking your supervision.
And Mr. Whitehead, I've already explained to you what you need to do going forward, but my vote is the same, to revoke, for the reasons already been stated on the record.
Good luck to you, Mr. Whitehead. Your parole has been revoked.
May I ask a question?
You may. I don't know if I can answer it.
By my parole being revoked, that's giving me all my time back.
I don't know the answer to that.
No.
Probably not. I'm hearing the answer no from some of our staff.
We don't calculate time. We don't
calculate time. That's
so
between you and the Department of Corrections.
and they'll get with you.
All right.
Some of our staff.
We don't calculate time. We don't
calculate time. That's
so
between you and the Department of Corrections.
and they'll get with you.